I've spent some time thinking about and examining the experience of understanding. In general, we are all able to relate to one another through conversation, whether spoken or written. And when you hear or read words in your native language, you will most likely have the experience of understanding them. But why is this? What is the nature of this experience? Aren't the words contained in books merely a mishmash of lines and curly symbols on a page? And aren't the words that I'm speaking to you now merely noises resonating at a certain frequency? At what point do words become meaningful so we can understand them, and what is the cause of that meaning? In this video, we'll briefly explore some answers to these questions. Let us begin with a helpful quote from philosopher Magee, which hones in on the problem. If I listen to a sentence or a tune, the actual sensory input at any given instant can consist of no more than part of a single note or pause or consonant or vowel sound. For me to hear the sentence as a sentence or the tune as a tune, I need at each point in it to retain in my mind's ear all the sounds that have gone before and link them with one another and with my current oral input into something that I then apprehend as a whole. In the Western world of the 21st century, we are inclined to see cognition as a process carried out by our brains. Our brains are often believed to be like machines or computers that process information and control our thoughts and actions. This is just one possibility I'd like you to consider. Do you really feel as though there is a computer in your head controlling your understanding, or does your understanding feel more organic, spontaneous, and free-flowing than that? Another possibility, and this is where I believe the truth of the matter rests, is that our understanding is brought about by God. In this view, God is behind every sensation, thought, and emotion that we experience. He is behind all of the processes that we experience as part of our aliveness, from our hearts beating, to our blinking, to our thinking, to our understanding. So in this view, the reason why we experience the sensations associated with understanding is because God is giving us those experiences. On close examination, what constitutes understanding is actually a series of subtle impressions in awareness that might be best described as sensations of tension and resolution. Tension is caused, I believe, when God makes us feel a degree of isolation, and resolution is a sense of greater connectedness to God's essence, which is love. Isolation and divine love are the two extremes of human experience, and cognition, I believe, is a subtle back and forth interplay between the two in our bodies. But the experience of understanding also relates to objects, events, and ideas, rather than merely being bodily sensations. If this is true, then it must be the case that God, who I believe is omniscient, has a remarkable memory. When I remember to pick up my keys before I leave the house, God has prompted that memory to arise in my awareness. So I believe it must be the case that God sees and comprehends the big picture, including all past events, and is able to produce in us thoughts and feelings related to the past. We must remember though that the past and future do not really exist. In reality, there is only an eternal now, which I believe contains the fullness of God. This moment and God are ultimately one and the same, and they constitute all that exists in reality. Therefore, it makes sense that God is in control of all our bodily processes, including the sensations and thoughts associated with the experience of understanding. What are your thoughts concerning the way in which sounds and symbols become meaningful and understandable? Feel free to leave a comment below. In the next video, we'll be examining the way in which God communicates with those to whom he has revealed himself. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. This video series accompanies my new book titled God's Grand Game, which is available now from all major retailers. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of future videos.